Welcome back to another episode of Adam's Fall. In this episode, I'll be revisiting Aubrey Marcus, who has a history as an entrepreneur, somebody who explores Eastern medicine, Native American medicines, really known for his use of psychedelics like ayahuasca. And I did a recent video because he had revealed how he had, quote, an expanded relationship with his wife and another woman, and this created a lot of controversy. Of course, he was a person who had experimented with polyamory before. And in this revelation, he wasn't really prepared to call it polyamory, but this new evolution in relationships. And it was in the same video that I discovered that he talked about this quote, Godbomb ceremony. And so, out of curiosity, I went and looked that up in another video of his, which we'll be looking at. He talks a little bit more about this ceremony, which includes psychedelics like the use of ketamine and cannabis combined, plus use of body techniques, movement, and singing, and the use of bowls, I guess song as well, and noise. And apparently, this combination will reveal God to an individual. So, it was in this explanation that Aubrey Marcus made a surprising comment that connected to a Latter day Saint belief, in particular, a Joseph Smith belief. And so that surprising comment, you just never know what somebody believes and how it might connect to your belief. And so that's why I'm kind of more open more and more every day to people and their experience, and because there's just so many common beliefs, you don't know how you might connect. So, in this particular part, Aubrey Marcus talks about body and spirit and mind and heart, and how there is no splitting or no difference between those. They're all one substance. So, without further ado, let's see what Aubrey has to say, and then we'll provide a little commentary.
The body is simply the denser substrate of the heart and mind and spirit. This is the place of density that's the same thing as all of those other things. We make false Cartesian splits between mind and body, spirit and body, all of these things. But actually, this is spirit in form.
And so, this kind of offhand comment that doesn't seem to be related to, quote, the God Bomb ceremony, but is quite interesting because in this, Aubrey appears to share the belief that your body and spirit and mind are all of one substance. That the things that you can feel, your sensory apparatus can feel the coarser material, but that the heart and the mind and spirit are finer material. One's denser, one's finer. And this interesting belief is actually shared by Joseph Smith in a section of the Doctrine and Covenants, which Latter-day Saints believe were revelations from Joseph Smith. Joseph Smith shares this belief. So this was kind of unexpected. As we read in verse 7 and 8 of section 131, which are a group of Joseph Smith's revelations, it reads, "There is no such thing as immaterial matter. All spirit is matter, but is more fine or pure, and can only be discerned by purer eyes. We cannot see it, but when our bodies are purified, we shall see that it is all matter." So this is very interesting that there's a similar belief between Aubrey Marcus and Joseph Smith, in that there is no split, there's no duality between body and spirit. Joseph Smith believed that it was all a continuum of all one kind. The body was something we could detect by our crude senses, but that there were other parts of reality that were not visible to the eye or palpable to the touch. And this has been borne out by science. So now we know through modern instrumentation and experiment that there are things finer than what we can see and touch. There are things like particles, there are things like cells, there's bacteria, there's viruses, there's electrons, there's neutrons, there's quarks, and of course we know about quantum fields and other explanations for underlying reality. So it appears that Joseph Smith and Aubrey's belief about how there is no discontinuance between the body and the rest of reality, it may be true. That is, of all one substance, just one part of the reality is available to our senses and another isn't. So just a quick thought on an interesting connection that you just never know how people will connect in ideas. And please leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't done so, and I look forward to your replies and comments. Thank you.